Have you ever thought just how boring or ridiculous news commentary is today? Welcome to the Real Jacks Podcast with Jim and Larry. The Real Jacks Podcast. From crime and politics to entertainment, you can expect something different. Now, let's get real, Jacks.
Hey, welcome back to Real Jacks with Jim and Larry and Crawfish. We have returning guest state rep Byrd. Glad to have you back, Cord.
Hey, glad to be back with you guys.
Larry's going to read some sponsorships we've got, and then we're going to get on with it.
Jim doesn't mess my timing up today. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like.
Hey, that just killed 5 seconds.
I know, I did. All right, ads. Yep. Extreme Wings, 4 convenient locations, family sports restaurant and grill. More than just wings. Obviously, my new employer. Best sweet tea in Jacksonville. Tremendous Barbecue, open since 2007. 8927 Hurlong Road. Open 11 to 8, Tuesday through Saturday and Sunday 11 to 3. Full barbecue menu, everything homemade, cater anything, and they love first responders. They're feeding everybody in September. Advanced Window Tent, 5024 Sunbeam Road, my buddy Ricky Tillman's place. Over 26 years experience. 3M Platinum dealer, highest level of 3M dealer around. They tent vehicles, homes, and businesses. Secure One Protection Services, Jim's company.
Since 1986. Your Secure One is your number one choice for protection. We offer discounts for first responders. 904-356-1111.
Outstanding. Dibble Roofing since 1949. Call Norm at 904-910-5728 or email Norm at norm.dibbleroofing@gmail.com. Handle all your roofing needs. D-Way Towing, 100 South Jackson Avenue. Phone number is 904-356-3929. Any kind of towing issue you have, any kind of towing, if you own a business and you need to make sure those derelict vehicles are dropped off, you can call D-Way Towing. They'll bring you a sign. Shannon Judge with Legends of Real Estate. Shannon Judge Real Estate at gmail.com. Her number is 904-200-2158. And Bouncer Roof Fund, Mike Kellum, former JSO, serving North Florida for over 15 years and over 10,000 parties. Bouncer Roof offers a large selection of inflatable hoppers, water slides, interactive games, concessions, and frozen drinks. They cover large events with tents, tables, and chairs, and there are always discounts to first responders. Rental rates, if you rent on a weekend, you keep the equipment the whole weekend.
Good job, man. That was under 2 minutes. I don't think anybody got slided.
134.
Yeah. Oh, just 134. This guy here.
I like it.
Perfect.
Like it.
So you guys, you start off and then, listen, you want me to, what are we going to talk about first?
Well, we'll talk about you running for your house seat again.
So we can do that, and then committee weeks start back next Monday. So we're gearing up for the session in January. So you can just talk a little bit about what's going to be the hot topics.
Yeah. There's some bills. You I think last time you said there's some stuff that'll come out. So what's on the agenda this year? Do you know anything?
So obviously the budget's always the one thing constitutionally that we have to do, and then this is redistricting. So we'll be in that, working on that for the 2022 elections.
Talk to us about now that we've had such a massive influx of new residents. The budget's got to be adjusted accordingly, and you can't always make up for it just in sales tax. They got any plans for trying to accommodate all these new people and be able to afford the services that we need for these new people and so forth? Can we charge an impact fee?
Well, I think that's probably longer than we have left in the show on the impact fees. But no, we're growing tremendously. I think the state as a whole grew like 14% over 2010.
Wow.
North Florida, I think Nassau County, which I represent, has grown at like 24%, so 10% more than the state average. So things are booming, and obviously that puts a lot of stress on resources, fire, police, roads, and all that. So, it's a lot to manage.
Yeah, Nassau's blowing up. St. John's is blowing up. All those quiet counties that everybody used to go out there and buy their 10 acres or whatever, those properties are worth a fortune now because they're big enough to make a small development.
Correct. We have land. I mean, that's the thing up here. I grew up in part of the time in South Florida, and you have the ocean on one side and the swamp on the other. So we have land. So
we do.
Yeah.
We do.
What else?
You don't realize how much land we've got unless you're a pilot.
Right.
I fly, and when you're driving, you're on the roads all day, and all you see is concrete. But you go up in the air and fly over Jacksonville, you see a lot of trees, man. There are a lot more trees than you realize. And, I mean, I don't want to encourage development, but we got a lot of land out here.
Yeah.
You got to have some control over that. You go out west, Columbia County, some pretty counties. There's some pretty property around Florida. Really, rolling hills and some pretty areas.
But I think some of the other things, I mean, obviously the stuff in the news, the masks, the vaccines, employer mandates from the federal government. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of big, heavy things to talk about coming up, and we start next Monday. At least the committees will start meeting in preparation for the 60-day session that's going to start in January.
So I guess there's going to be a lot of lawsuits filed over that 100 employee.
Yes, there are going to be a lot. In fact, the state of Arizona today, their attorney general filed a lawsuit already. So I think they're going to come fast and furious. That seems to be the way we do everything now. Everybody just runs to court.
Golly, I should go to law school.
So these mask mandates and they're required from
he's going to law school. So
good.
He's taking the LSAT, but he's going to take it.
He's not going to stop until he gets a perfect score on it.
Right.
Pretty close. So I think he missed it by 1 point, so he's going to do it over again.
No, not that close.
So, with all these mask mandates and stuff, the South is traditionally slower to come around than some of the northern states on that sort of thing. But are you seeing us kind of folding to some of that and kind of having to bend and kind of go the way of mask requirements and mandates? And you see that trend getting down here? And
I don't. No. I think we stay hopefully on the trend of liberty and allowing people to make a choice. Either if you want the vaccine, you get it. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. But I don't see the government or the state government, and especially under Governor DeSantis.
Your health is a choice, and that's the my body, my choice kind of thing is the good argument. With as far as abortions go, so that's a good premise for that argument right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to, in this situation, err on the side of liberty. And I spend a lot of time researching what other countries are doing. And you look at England; they don't put masks on their kids, and they've had much more stringent mandates and lockdowns than we've had here. Yeah.
And England's much more liberal-minded than the U.S., so I'm surprised to hear that.
Right.
Interesting.
So Sweden, I think, just announced, or it may have been Denmark, just announced that they're doing away with all of their COVID restrictions, that they've just decided it's like the flu, we're going to have to live with it, and that's the way they're going. So it's very interesting. I mean, we have, this isn't just confined to the United States or just to the state of Florida. We can look worldwide and see different trends and different things that people are doing. I mean, we never talk about people who have natural immunity, and why would they have to get a vaccine when they've already had it and have natural immunity? So hopefully...
Well, this is the mystery virus, and I have not been vaccinated.
I have, actually.
Did you get vaccinated?
I did.
And it's a choice thing, yeah.
JSO was offering that, and I don't have heartache either way, but you should have the choice.
Absolutely. So I got COVID in March. It wasn't fun, but it wasn't awful for me, and I'm almost 60. I got it again. I got the Delta variant. My whole family got it. My brothers, my 85-year-old mother who has comorbidities, underlying issues, she got it too. So my second go around, just relying on my own antibodies from the first time 5 months ago, it was like, felt kind of blah for 3 days. And in 7 days, I was negative. Mm-hmm. Brothers had a much harder time. One ended up in the hospital. Mom ended up in the hospital with COVID pneumonia, but she's getting out today, and she survived it. None of us have been vaccinated. Then I've got a buddy, and this is a true story, and a lot of people don't believe this. Got a buddy, healthiest guy I know, one of my closest friends, known him 30 years. I mean, I've never seen him with a sniffle, not a cold, the flu or nothing. He was planning on traveling quite a bit. He needed to for what he does. So he decided to get the vaccination because it kind of makes it easier if you travel a lot. He got a shot, the one of two. Within 24 hours, he had to go to the hospital. He ended up in a medically induced coma. All of his organs started shutting down, and he died last week from getting a vaccination. Another buddy, police officer, Eddie Bounds, was vaccinated in March, and he got COVID, still got COVID, and he died last week or Sunday before last or whatever. So it is truly the mystery virus. So it's kind of hard to mandate that you have to do this when a guy like me survives it. My 85-year-old mother survives it who wasn't vaccinated. And then you've got people that have been vaccinated that die from it. So it's so liberty, and choice is in this, at this point, I think is absolutely critical.
And
If you want to get it, get it. If you don't.
Yeah, I mean, people are losing their jobs. I mean, I had to get somebody come up to me in church and say, I've been given a choice by the end of September, get the vaccine or lose my job. That
So
people
wrong,
should
man.
not be put in that position. I mean, a woman who's 7 months pregnant, same thing. I mean, and healthcare a lot of times is tied to their employment. Yeah. So now it's a double whammy. Not only are you losing your job, you're losing your healthcare, and I think that we shouldn't be putting people in that position. And I'm urging the legislative leaders to do everything they can to stop that. And certainly the governor has spoken about it just this week, and 100% behind him on that.
Well, that's one of the beauties of being in Florida.
Counties that mandate COVID-19 vaccines for grown employees will face fines.
$5,000 per employee.
Yeah.
One of the beauties of being in Florida, but you leave and go to another state, it's a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah.
You better, if you decide to move out of Florida and you're pro-choice, you better decide what state you're moving to, because it could.
Texas, maybe.
Yeah.
You gotta go to Texas.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd go.
Yeah. I had it too. Originally, a long time ago.
Before you were vaccinated?
Yeah. And had a fever one night, sweaty for a couple of days after that, had a headache. That was broken the first night, and then, I think my nose ran once, and my back hurt. It was weird. My back hurt for like 4 or 5 days.
So did mine. Terrible backache.
My back hurt for like 4 or 5 days, and that was it. I mean, I've had colds worse than that, and a week after that, when I felt better, my smell and taste, that was the worst part of it. Like having a headache and not being able to taste stuff.
But eating is like
so I could have a sensation in my mouth. Yeah.
Eating
for like
something,
2 months,
eating a piece of pizza is like chewing a roof shingle.
Yeah. So, but I said, I'm gonna get it at some point, so I'll go ahead and get this, and probably would have had some natural immunity anyway, but I went ahead and got it, and I see people fighting back and forth, and I'm like, wow.
I think the best defense is doing what you did. Get your natural immunities, so you've got those, because you won't get those if you get the vaccine, and then get the vaccine, and that's probably the perfect scenario.
I didn't have any side effects from the vaccine whatsoever, but I had one, H1N1, the swine flu. You remember that was a big deal? JSO said, hey, everybody get this vaccine. I went and got it. The only reason I got it is because a bunch of us were going on a cruise. I got the shot the day after I went on the cruise, 103 temperature for 4 days. Miserable the whole time. And I know it was that dang shot.
Right.
Definitely.
Yep. And I think one of the other issues, and people are just really distrustful of government, and I blame mainly Washington, that they have lied so much about this and not told the truth of its origins and where it's come from. And if you want people to get medicine and take vaccines and take precautions, stop lying to them. And so what I'll do is, I'll go to the CDC website and just start doing research before COVID, like on the flu and different things. And it's amazing what you'll find. In fact, the CDC just changed their definition of vaccine because Twitter has been banning people for putting out false information. And so Alex Berenson, who's a reporter who's been all over this, he tweeted about something, they banned him, and then the CDC went and changed their definition. It's those types of actions that make people very distrustful.
Right, absolutely. I don't trust them, the FDA. My level of trust of any governmental agency for the last 10 years has been pretty, not the last year or two, but probably the last 10 years has been pretty continually going downhill, and it's not just me.
Jimmy's fight with ALS has made me lose a lot of trust in FDA, because there's companies. There's one in Israel called Neuron that's really big, showing a lot of promise, because it's very expensive, and they've had 10 years of trials. They say they don't have enough data points. But if you had a lot of the success, you should give people the opportunity. But insurance companies lobby against it, so there's a lot of money involved, and the FDA obviously changed that. Instead of trying to save lives, it's based on
lobbyists are a problem. In a lot of cases.
They serve a purpose in that they help us understand issues, but in other times, they're being paid to stop things or to keep the fight. Sometimes different groups don't want the issue to be solved, so they fight against it because
Speaking of lobbyists, what do you see going on with the NRA? Weren't they filing for bankruptcy or something? And it's pretty shocking. And they've got some pretty big lobbyists.
Yeah, so they're still, I think, fighting the lawsuits. The Attorney General of New York went after them. That was where they were incorporated, and so they're. It's a legal strategy to hurt them. Hurt the NRA, hurt the gun rights lobby to, bankrupt them. Yeah,
we're going to be in big trouble if they go away, though.
Yeah. We had good news this week. We beat back the president's nominee for the ATF head, Chipman, who was terrible. I mean, there were even Democrats that couldn't support him. So it was bipartisan. I was reading an article last night that gun sales, were at an all-time high last year. They're still strong this year. And so people are reacting. People want to be able to...
there have been more gun sales with Democrats than there ever have been.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's something they do on purpose.
The strategy's not working. I mean, if their goal is to reduce guns, the worst thing you can do is start talking about banning things and confiscating things.
Not in America. I mean, that's how the country was built. So,
And the fact that you can't really buy a lot of used ones, there's not like a huge market for used guns. Most people are going to gun stores buying new ones. It means people are hanging on to them.
Right.
And just people that don't have one are going to go just get a new one. So So on the subject of 2A stuff, the way I see it, you're always hearing people, they're going to come take our guns. They're going to come take our guns. And I think I've said this before, it would make the Civil War look like a picnic if they start coming door to door. Maybe 50 years from now that might happen because it's all step by step by step by step. But the biggest threat is legislating lawful gun owners to death, to where you got to register your firearms, or within a year you're an automatic felon. And then, of course, banning certain weapons is going to be a problem, or banning certain types of magazines or ammo, or limiting ammo. So do you see legislation in the gradual legislating of law-abiding citizens, because we know the bad guys aren't going to follow the laws? You see that as the biggest threat?
It is, and it's one of my common refrains in the State House is, criminals by definition don't obey the law. So every time we pass another regulation on law-abiding gun owners, they're the ones who suffer and pay, because the criminals, they don't care. They'll go steal another one will come across the border. I mean, how's the war on drugs work for us? I mean, you want to create a black market. You'll have a black market in guns tomorrow if you start banning certain firearms. And that's always a fight. And fortunately, with Governor DeSantis and other governors, and Governor Abbott in Texas, they've been very clear that they're not going to allow any federal law enforcement to come into the states and try to take guns or ban certain things.
I know, and Larry might be able to help me with this. I know a lot of Florida sheriffs signed I don't know if it's called a decree or a declaration, that they would not support any type of federal new laws that would order them
authorities
to disarm the citizens.
Right.
That they said they wouldn't support it.
Well, and that's another thing I tell people is who you elect as sheriff is vitally important. I mean, as the chief law enforcement officer of the county, it's our sheriffs that are really on the front line. They're going to be the ones who say, "Not in my county, you're not doing this. I'm the law enforcement in this county, and Mr. Federal Agent, you're not going door to door and taking guns, because you're going to have to deal with me first." So, who you elect as sheriff is key.
Yeah, for sure, and that's an important race we've got coming up here.
Your district, you're running for your House seat again. What does your district encompass?
Yeah, so I represent House District 11, which is all of Nassau County, the north side, everything east of Yellow Bluff Road to the ocean, and then the three Jacksonville beaches. Okay. Now, like I said, we are in a redistricting year, so things may or may not change. So we'll be working on that in the upcoming legislative session, and so. I plan on running for re-election for my seat.
You got anybody running against you? Do you know?
There is one person who I think he's filed out in Hilliard, and we'll see if anybody else jumps in.
Only one, really?
To my knowledge, only one person right now in the primary.
I think that's a statement from your constituency, and probably just the public in general, that they're like, hey, we kind of like the job Byrd's doing, so no one's going to run out there and oppose you.
The districting thing. So I'm in city council, obviously district. I'm in 8. And back then, who was the attorney, that the female city attorney for the city of Jacksonville, Cindy Lacierda. She told him about a few districts that were being gerrymandered illegally, 8, 9, and 10. I'm in 8, which makes no sense because I'm deep Marietta, Whitehall, almost all nearly to Baldwin. but I'm considered part of the urban core. Now, I don't know how you do that. Now, they've got to redraw them, and they've got to, a 10%? They got to be within 10% of each other, all of them, at least locally. So hopefully the district I'm in will move a little bit. There's no reason for me to be in 8, and I was hoping that I'd be in 12 coming up in the future. But, yeah, they're going to have to – I guess they're doing that everywhere. So statewide they'll be doing that.
So
on the new
all
census.
50 states are doing that.
Yep.
And, in fact, I'm chairing the state legislative redistricting subcommittee in the House. So beyond that, I can't talk about it anymore
So
other than in broad generality. So all 50 states.
This is a federal mandate?
So every under the Constitution,
census.
every
Okay,
10
okay,
years we have the
okay.
census. So in 2020 we had the census, and then the new districts go into effect.
So I can definitely see this being a political thing, and they're going
always is.
absolutely
Always
and
is.
trying to.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
under the congressional, Florida picked up another seat, Texas picked up another seat. So that's important for the state
Yeah.
and our power in D.C. So that's
I remember
election.
Corey and Brown making this an issue quite a bit, and wanting to get hers changed considerably.
Yeah.
right
for her benefit,
The
yeah.
city's going through that now.
Yeah.
Working on things. I think some of those will change.
Well, I hope mine changes because I've had enough.
Yeah.
And not that I don't dislike Jacoby Pittman, but, she's probably never been to Otis Road.
Yeah.
So.
You're probably right. And if you
look
called
at
her,
that.
she'd probably be like, "Where? You're where?
No,
You're
I
in
don't
my
think
district."
You're in Jacksonville. I don't
Yeah.
think you're in Jacksonville.
Exactly.
So, what else on the horizon as far as bill-wise? You know anything?
So, everybody's in the process now of working on legislation. Some people are already filing bills. You just never know. I mean, we're in the middle of hurricane season. Knock on wood, we're going to get through without any hurricanes this year.
Never have another one again. I've got a brand new generator at the house.
Yeah,
whole
no, I
house-
know.
Whole house generator. Never have another hurricane in Jacksonville again.
I
probably.
have a brand new one as well.
Well, we had, we those last hurricanes we had, 11 months apart. I lived on the St. Johns River at the time, and I got hit by both of them.
Right.
So I'm thinking the odds of getting another one hopefully are pretty slim.
Yeah, I start off every morning. I look and see what's going on in the Atlantic, just to see what's
You never know.
see what's coming.
Crazier things have happened.
But
You started a podcast too, didn't you?
so I have. I did start one. Yeah, you guys inspired me. I
Tell
saw
us
your
about that.
success.
And we're
I saw
expecting to
your
be guests,
success. Yeah, no, absolutely. We haven't recorded the first one yet, but my goal is to have it during session. So what I would like to do is give people just a little bit of insight. What's going on in Tallahassee? What bills are coming up? Just so I feel like media does a great job of looking at what goes on in D.C. and what goes on locally, but sometimes they miss what's happening in Tallahassee, and it really is important for people to know.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not mainstream news media, so kind of limiting what people know and hear and see,
Yeah.
and we can go straight to the source.
Well, the thought is to give a peek behind Oz's curtain. There's so much fake news online, and people who talk about things that have no clue what they're talking about, and lying and slandering people, and good people, they're frustrated. Voters are frustrated, and so they read things, and sometimes they it bothers me when they're being misled. So I want to try to shed some light on that and answer some questions and have you guys on, and you can ask.
I was I don't want to say a news junkie.
I'm in Wyman Duggan's district out there on Otis Road.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah. Wyman's doing a great job. He is. We have a great delegation in North Florida. I mean, we really, really do. I'm proud of all the guys I serve with, and they do a great job. And I think we really represent the people well in Tallahassee. So
That's good.
I was going to say I was kind of not a news junkie, but I watched the news every day because I like to know what was going on. I watch the local news. I watch the national news. I haven't really watched the news in about a year and a half. I've lost that much confidence in it to where I don't even turn it on because you can tell when somebody's lying to you.
yeah,
And I knew some of the stories firsthand enough, especially the local stories. And then when I saw it on the news, I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not even close to what happened.
Well-
they spun that so much. It was like that was completely changed to present a completely different reality to the viewer, the listener. And I was like, I'm done.
and I'll tell you how bad it is. There was a fake news article online just about a week ago, and they literally put quotes around they put some words, something that they claim that I said, put quotes around it. It's just a flat out lie. I mean, it's just absolutely, and it's a real problem.
I would imagine that's probably a regular problem for you.
It is.
In anybody
right.
that's a politician,
right? And so
in politics,
and it's amazing how many times groups will not even reach out. They'll write an article about something I'm doing or something I'm working on. Never call me to ask, like, hey, what they'll go get a quote from somebody who's opposed
second,
to what I'm
third
doing,
hand,
but never even come talk to me, and that's
right.
And then constituents say they read things or hear things, and they're calling and going, "What the heck?" And then I gotta explain to them. So,
politics.
Yeah, I love the fact that you'll have your own channel because I like you, we like you, and I can just flip it on and get an update on what's going on, and firsthand.
Well, they limit us. So when we have what's called structured debate. So even when we're on the floor and we're debating an issue. So a few years ago, I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning debating sanctuary cities because I was the one who filed the bill, and working with the governor to ban sanctuary cities regarding illegal aliens in Florida. And then so now we've gone to a structured debate where you have very limited time, maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes at the most, 10. And sometimes it's just not enough time. So I said, you know what, I want to be able to say what I want to say, and for as long as I want to say it. So I figured the podcast is the way to go.
There are venues, there are forums to do that.
Well, the podcast is like the new radio show. Everybody used to have a radio show or do a radio show, so it's the way to do it until something else comes along.
Yeah.
So
but as soon as we, one of the things I would tell your listeners, and if you have people that are elected that you trust, that you voted for, you believed in their message, if you hear something that says that doesn't sound like the guy I know or the gal I know, call them, email them, go to their office before you run and start blowing them up. Talk to us. Talk to us. I try to be as accessible as possible. I give people my cell phone number. I have constituents who'll contact me on a weekend, and I do that because I'm their representative. I should be accessible to them.
Absolutely.
And I would encourage them, just don't believe everything that you read online.
I've seen stuff and forwarded it to friends of mine that are reps and so forth. And there's like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I never said that. No, that's not even close.
Right.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we look forward to the show.
Absolutely.
We look forward to this year.
Absolutely.
And we'll have your own after this session. We'll try to get an update too, and whatever you want to do with the other one, we'll push that out. When you get that started, let us know. We'll share the link and all that kind of stuff too.
Fantastic.
And as usual, we love you coming on.
Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing and giving an alternate voice to people in North Florida. It's really important.
Have you picked a date to start your show yet, so we can let the viewers and listeners know kind of about when to start looking for you?
I have not yet. It's Liberty Lens with Cord Byrd.
There you go.
Liberty Lens with Cord Byrd. So I want to look at law, politics, and history through the lens
Folks,
of
keep
Liberty.
an eye out.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye out for that.
10-4. Thank you, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for returning, Cord Byrd, state rep. Looking forward to seeing you be reelected.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And thanks to the viewers for listening and viewing and watching,
and however which way, because
or whatever you're doing, however you're
beginning of today's the numbers are up. We're doing good.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So give us feedback too. We've got our website, and just log in and give us your comments, or if you want to hear topics or have guests on, let us know, and we'll get back to you. But that's it today for Real Jacks with Jim and Larry and Crawfish. Thanks again, Cord Byrd.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next time.